Hey, how you doing, Jason? Right, I think we're there. I think we're there. Oh, I've got the text a mile across there, which is hard to see, but we'll do our best we can. How you doing, Jason? You good? Just going to give it 5 minutes, mate, just to see if we can get a few people in here and see. Just do me a favour, buddy. Can you hear sound okay? Everything all right, yeah? Do, 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 do. Good. First ever live stream, mate. First ever PC build going live. Did you check out the build that we did today? Oh, well, last week, but it went live today because we had a few issues with regards to the editing of it, which was a bit of a nightmare, but that's how it goes. So, as I said, first ever go at building live. Bit nerve-wracking. Hope it goes well. Got a little bit of fan noise in the background because my 5950X is going like the clappers. I've had the heating on in the other room and it's like warm in here. It's about 33, 34 degrees. But we'll give it 5 minutes. So go and get yourself a cup of tea and a chocolate bar or something, and then we're going to come back and we're going to build this little monster in front of us and hopefully have it all up and running within the next hour. Let's see who's on. Yeah, I can see the fans spinning like wano. See if I can knock this down a little bit. Just want to see if I can cut down that fan noise in the background. I could do with a monitor just here. Well, I have got one there, but I'd be constantly like this. Hey, how you doing, man? Montana. Montana. I can't see it. I think it says Montana Spec 88. Nice to see you, mate. It is about 6 foot away from me, so whilst my eyes are quite good, they aren't what they used to be, so do forgive me if I've said that. I thought it said something else, but then I decided not to say it. I wish I could make this a little bit bigger, like font size, and then I could definitely see it. It's all learning though. We'll probably just get a monitor and put it here next time because it is 6 foot away and it's a bit far to see. Sorry, it's a German name. Oh, thank God for that. I thought it was something that it wasn't, which is good. How you doing, buddy? You okay? Good? As I said, guys, I just want to give it 5-10 minutes. We'll give it until, I don't know, yeah, 5-10 minutes just to see how many we can get in. And then we'll just start. And you two being the first two, which is here, and I'm greatly appreciated, so thank you. see if all the cameras are working. Yep, looks good. Cool. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm really good. I'm off work, so I'm a little bit more relaxed this week. Just decided that we've got this build here. We've got another build which is just there. We've got another one which is in the other room, and I completed one a couple of days ago for a guy in London, and yeah, that got posted today. So if you've not seen that after this live stream, maybe a little bit too late, probably be about 10:30 by the time it's done. So go and check that out, because it is an absolute beast. That's a 5900X and a 3080 Ti. Beautiful build, full of RGB, etc, but really nice build. So that's posted on the channel. If you've not seen that already, go and check that out. Let's just have a quick chat then, guys. So what systems have we got currently? What are you guys rocking in chat at the minute? Well, no one's here and I can actually pay attention to chat. Let's pass some time. Make sure that is off, or else it'll be beep, 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 beep. Is this build in the 5000X? No, the last build that I did was in the 5000D. This is an S340 NZXT. So we're going to be building this NZXT with a GTX 1060. Asus GTX1060 with this Z390 Asus Tough Gaming motherboard. Got a mixture of new and used parts, new CPU, new RAM, new SSD, and then a couple of new fans, but then a used CPU cooler, or a new PSU as well. So the only two things which are, or three things which are used are the case, the motherboard, and the graphics card. You got a PS4 at the minute, but planning on making a PC. Nice! Welcome to that master race, my friend. There's so many people that want to build PCs, but unfortunately, these little things here are ripping people's eyeballs out, and it's costing everyone an absolute fortune at the minute. So it's a bit of a nightmare. You seen that? Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. We're not a big community. We're only a small one. We recently passed 1,500 subscribers, but I think that was pretty good in the last 11 months, 12 months. So it's pretty hard going starting on YouTube, especially in the especially in the tech community, because there's that many different tech, should we say, channels. But yeah, we are making some good strides, hopefully helping a lot of people out along the way, if you like. I do quite a lot behind the scenes, and hopefully everybody, if they've got any questions or anything like that, we can help them out. You had an Xbox for 6 years and then building a PC changed everything. I can't begin to tell you guys. It is absolutely a different world. I mean, I don't know what you won't be able to see, but I've got an Xbox One X down here that's still in the actual box itself. We've got a Series X, which is just in this room to the right of me on the cinema screen, and then my son's got a PS5. But to be honest, since I bought him a PC, not a too extravagant kind of PC, but it was like a 2060 and 9700K. He absolutely loves it, and I mean loves it. Everything is on a 144Hz monitor, and it's just a different world, especially when you're playing FPS games. He absolutely adores it. Don't get me wrong, the new PS5 and the new Xbox One X, you can get somewhere between 100 and 120 FPS if you've got the right kind of TV. That being, you need HDMI 2.1, around £2,000 for a TV. But yeah, that's what I said. Latest consoles are really good, and you can't knock them, because even though they were a pain in the backside to get our hands on, 500-600 quid for 120 FPS is a very, very, very good increase over the old ones. How old is my son? So I've got a 16-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So yeah, the 16-year-old is computer mad. The 8-year-old is probably getting that way, and the 2-year-old's just started putting things in his hands in terms of like phones and stuff like that. So yeah, he will be computer crazy as well. So no, what time are we on? 2 minutes and we'll start. 2 minutes and we'll start. I do appreciate everyone coming though, guys. I really appreciate you being here, and as I said, we'll rattle through this build. We'll get it up and running. Pretty straightforward in terms of this build, in all honesty. It's total blackout build, so we're not going with any RGB or anything like that, and everything that you see on front of me, or in front of me shall I say, is what we're going to be using, right down to the screws. So pretty straightforward. Oh, I wish the same for yourself, mate. I appreciate it. Thank you. I just wish that monitor was here, so I weren't like straining my eyes, but I can just see it. Right then, guys, we'll give it 1 minute, and then I remember when you were on, I think it was I remember when I was on 200 subscribers. I tell you what, I was just speaking to the other guys, and it feels like a long time ago now. It's about 35, 40 videos, but the current plan is we've been doing for the last year 1 video a week, which with my current work schedules and stuff like that, and building and helping things in the community tech-wise, is quite a lot. But I do plan on introducing some more shorts, or some, should we say, short form factor videos, so that they don't take up so much time. I don't want to get away from PC builds because I absolutely adore it. But I do think that doing, well, 3 cameras, videoing in 4K across normally around 5 to 6 hours is about 16-18 hours worth of 4K footage, and editing it is an absolute ball ache. So yeah, if we can get away with either building them quicker or talking less and just get to the point a little bit more, I think that's the way forward. But some short form factor videos is definitely on the cards, because we need to get more content out there. But if yourself's been here since 200 subscribers, absolutely fantastic, and I can't say thank you enough, so thanks. Right, so I don't care whether we've got 1, 2, 200 or 50,000 in here. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to crack on. So what I'll do is I'll just give you 2 minutes, a brief overview of these parts, guys, and then we will crack on. So let's start off with the CPU. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using this little baby here. So this is 9600K. So really nice. It probably won't, yeah, if I get too close, it probably won't go and focus. But 9600K i5, it's 9th gen Intel chip. Really good chip, guys. 6 core, 12 threads. And to be honest, I really like it. I don't think you can go wrong in that respect. And to be quite frank with you, for a budget gaming CPU, really good. So we're going to pair that along with this Z390 motherboard from Asus. Really nice Asus board, to be honest. Z390, so it can do 8th gen and 9th gen CPUs. Again, really good upgrade paths. You can chuck a 9900K in here, no problems whatsoever. So for me, with this little i5, we're not going to encounter any issues or anything like that. But good I/O on the back. You're not going to have any issues there either. So we're going to couple that with this Asus 1060 graphics card. So it's a dual card, decent output on the back, not going to tear up much FPS of today's standards, but if you're running, let's say, a 75Hz or a 144Hz monitor and you're playing at 1080p, you're still going to get quite a lot out of this card, especially in today's value, guys. It is an absolute nightmare trying to get hold of these cards. So if you can, if you're going to be playing at 1080p and you've only got a 75 or even potentially a 144Hz monitor, then it's a really good option for you. We're going to cool the CPU by this Arctic Freezer 7 CPU. Again, I didn't want to go OTT with something like an AIO or something like that. i5 9600, it's not a very high TDP chip, so we don't need a lot to cool it. And we're going to power it all by this CV450 Corsair power supply. Plenty enough juice in this, and again, it's brand spanking new, so we're not going to have any issues. That being said, we're going to chuck it in this S340 case, black and red, used part, but it's got a few little scratches on here and there, but nothing that you're going to notice unless it actually puts it right in front of your eyeball. For me, no tempered glass side panel, just a plastic one, but again, I think it's in keeping with regards to the rest of the parts. We will be absolutely fine here. So, Montana, thank you very much for your time, my friend. Have a nice evening, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you. Happy boy, welcome, mate. I put the number 4. Don't know what that means. I put the number 4. Right in chat. What do you mean, chat? See you later, Montana. Thank you, pal. Take it easy. Right, so first thing, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare the motherboard. Very, very straightforward in this build. We haven't got any SSDs or M.2 drives that we're going to install. Dead straightforward. So let me just move some of these parts and then we will crack on. Put these up here. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We can move these. Right. We're going to do it all with one screwdriver. So, CPU, RAM, fantastic. Right. We'll put this power supply over here. We'll drop them down there. Right. Stay. Cool. Right. So first thing then, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to install the CPU. We're going to lift up the retention bracket. Again, I always say this, but mega important, whenever you're taking these CPUs out of these packets, just be careful because they do have a tendency to actually fly out. You don't have to worry as much with Intel chips because the pins aren't on the CPU, they're actually in the socket themselves. But as we always say, there's a triangle on the bottom of the actual CPU. We need to match that up like with the socket on the motherboard. I'll just change angles for you. So all we've got to do, guys, triangle to triangle, and we can drop that in just like so. We can lower down the socket and then we can, oh, not do that. We can push down the retention lever and then this pops out. Keep hold of that because if you want to sell your motherboard, it's much easier to sell with that and you're going to protect those pins on that socket. Right, next step is our brand new RAM that we've got. Now, this is Vengeance LPX. It is 3000 megahertz, it's C16, and it will be absolutely fantastic for this build here. Let's just have a quick look in chat. Is the extra 4-pin CPU pin to be plugged? No, on your motherboard, it depends whether you're going to be overclocking. It's a good idea if you've got it to actually utilize it. Personally, I always do, but if you're not going to be overclocking, then in all honesty, you don't need to. It's just a supplementary power for your motherboard, that's all. Riley Burns, hello mate, how you doing? And sorry Nick, the chat's about 5 foot away from me, so I am just leaning over to actually read it. So No, if you don't want to plug the extra 4-pin in for the motherboard, you don't need to. It's not necessary unless you do want to obviously overclock your CPU. Right then guys, we'll get into this Corsair RAM. As we said previously, this is LPX C1630 or 3000 megahertz. No, 30 would be no good, would it? So when we're installing RAM, guys, what we need to do is open our DIMM slots. On this particular board, we just need to open the top slot. What you will see is on the DIMM slot here, you have got a little notch in the DIMM slot or in the DIMM of RAM. And then what we need to be doing, guys, is we need to be populating the far most right hand side, put one side in, line it up, and then what we can do is press down firmly until we hear that click. We then miss, and then we populate the next one as well. And within 2 minutes, we've got our CPU installed and we've got our RAM installed. Thank you, I just built my first PC last week. Nice, well done, Nick. What did we put in it, mate? How did you get on? Encounter any issues? Did you watch one of my videos, or did you manage to watch any other videos and follow along the step-by-step guides? And I do apologise, guys. I'll say it again. This is the first ever live video that we're doing, or should we say YouTube video that we're doing, because normally they are behind the scenes, they're all recorded, and you can just edit everything out. But on this particular occasion, we're like, oh, first ever one. But yeah, let me know, Nick. How did the build go? Was it exciting? Did you get nervous, or was it quite easy and you just did it and turned it on and everything worked? Where's everyone from in chat anyway? Are we all from the UK? Are we from the US? I know that Montana was from Germany. Your video helps, but it was scary. Yeah, man, it always is. The first build is always scary. Lots of, should we say, screws, lots of electrics and valuable parts. But if you take your time, it's kind of like Lego, guys. It only goes, well, mind you, Lego goes more than one way. But normally, if you put a little bit of consideration into it and actually look at what you're doing, it's generally quite easy, especially if you've got a video to follow or something like that. Riley, how did you get on, matey? I've just finished my build. Nice. What did we get? What kind of builds have you built anyway? And welcome to the stream, Riley. And apologies, guys, I'm not being rude. I'm just looking at the screen over there. Again, what I'll do is I'll get a screen put here or here so we can actually interact a little bit more for future builds, because we've got quite a lot of them in the other room that we need to get through. I'm actually more nervous doing it live than I am when I'm recording, because as I said, normally you mess up, you can just, oh, I'll just edit that out, not a problem at all. But doing it live, different kettle of fish. Was your first build as well? Did you follow any step-by-step guides, or did you manage to do it successfully? Did you turn it on and everything work? That's the main thing. The dreaded thing is when you put it all together, you get it all in your case, you press that power button and computer says no, nothing lights up, something drastically wrong. It went really good. Nice, man, nice. You was worried about the thermal paste. I would say that is, you've got me worried now, because the thermal paste in that drawer over there and I can't reach it. But no, I think, to be honest, you can't really go wrong. It's better to put more on than not enough or not so much. I don't think you can really go too wrong with that, to be honest. But I think for anybody building a computer the first time, especially with expensive parts, it's nerve-wracking. You want to take your time, you want to make sure you've done everything right. And for me, It's more about that real sense of achievement once you've done it and you turn it on and you go, wow, I've done it. I've actually done it. And that first game you play is like none other. Nick's just built a Ryzen 9 5900 with some, bloody hell, Trident Z Royal 32 gig at 3600 on a 570X Dark. Oh, nice, man. Absolutely insane build. 6900 XT gaming trio as well. Nick, if you've not seen already on my community post, mate, we're doing our next couple of videos. We are basically pulling some setups together. If you've seen, obviously, TechSource, he does some amazing setup videos and stuff like that. I've put a community post out there. I've received about 10, 15 so far, but the aim is to get around 50 or 60. Showcase your builds, not to slander them or slaver them or anything like that, but just to actually showcase them to everyone else, potentially show where we could do some improvements, what you could change and stuff like that, but it's just to get people's builds out there. I followed TechSource's video and it turned on immediately. Nice, 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 nice. The only thing I have yet to do is get a Windows 10 key. Well, if you've not done that already, Riley, there's a video on my channel where you can actually get a discount. I think they're about £12, something like that. Dollars is about $15, $16, something like that. But there's plenty of Windows 10 CD keys out there. And with it being Black Friday very shortly, they'll be going for next to nothing, mate. Right, that being said, so guys, next up what we're going to do is I'll need to reach over there and go and get some thermal paste, but we're going to install our CPU bracket and this actual CPU cooler. So just bear with me 1 second while I chuck these all over, and then I will grab some CPU paste and then we'll get this cooler installed. Oh. Riley, I do have a Discord server, yeah. I'll try and put it in chat whilst we're going through. It's just me on my lonesome here. I wish I had some of these moderators where you could just press a button and they go, yes, there's your Discord, etc, etc. But yeah. Secret Lab, yeah, absolutely insane, Zald. It is absolutely fantastic. The only thing that frustrates me a little bit is it does have a tendency on the setting that I have it with regards to the lumbar support to squeak a little bit. Now, not too much, and I'm moving around now, it's not too bad, but whenever you do some drastic movements with the lumbar support, it does squeak a little bit, so just bear that in mind. But an absolutely fantastic purchase, and I've got no complaints whatsoever apart from that. What is the average lifespan of an air cooler? I mean, I would suspect that they would be absolutely fine for 3-4 years. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think I've got an Intel cooler in there which is 10-11 year old. Still works today. Essentially, as long as the bearings are okay on the fan and you clean it regularly in terms of obviously the fin stacks and stuff like that, this shouldn't really have any degradation for the copper or the aluminium plates or anything like that. So I think that the main point, guys, is just keeping it nice and clean, making sure that you're regularly dusting them off and stuff like that. But yeah, depends on what kind of bearing you've got. If you've got something like a fluid dynamic bearing, an FDB bearing, obviously they tend to suck up quite a lot of dust, and you can kind of know when they're on the way out. They kind of squeal, or you can hear the grind of them. AIO coolers. Oh God, I mean, in fact, I've got a liquid. These aren't very good coolers either, but there's a Liquid Pro in their Cooler Master, and that is 7 years old. Still absolutely fine, no problems with it at all. Oh, I've got this one here is 4 years old, 3 or 4 year old. Absolutely fine, no problems at all. And then I've got obviously the one which is in mine, which is the Elite Capital X. Absolutely fantastic cooler. Good upgrade over that H150i as well, just in terms of aesthetics. And not only that, the radiator design is a little better. And shall we say, the fans that come with it, being ML120s, high static pressure fans, are much better as well. Right, I'm babbling too much. We're not doing anything, we're talking too much. So I do apologise, guys. So when we're installing our CPU bracket, if you like, for our cooler, guys, we need to ensure that it fits securely, and then all we're going to do is we're going to push these little prongs. Let me change the camera angle. There we go. So what we're going to do is just going to put our bracket onto here like so. Make sure that it fits in the holes just at the back like so. And then all we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to put these in and push them through. And that should allow us to actually secure this down. And the way it works, guys, so obviously this is, for instance, AMD's mounting system, but on the side of this bracket here you can see two little hooks, and all we're literally going to do is push these four through. Then it's going to go down like that. These hooks are going to hook around this, which is going to give sufficient clamping force for it to be attached. There we go. Riley, you have the same AIO but the 240 version. Yeah, man, it's a really nice cooler. I think I did a build in a 4000X Corsair case, and I used the white 240 of that as well, which again was a really, really nice build as well. So, right, let's see if we can put these through. One, don't want to do that. We want to put this one in first. There we go. Push that down and that down. Cool. Right. Oh, has that gone through? No, it's not gone through. There we go. Right. So, very, very straightforward, guys. Just make sure that they're all the way down and secure. And then what we can do is go ahead and install our CPU. But before we do that, we want to install some thermal paste on there as well. Let me just check. We've got one which is not all the way down. We have. We've got a little bugger that does not want to come out. There we go. Right. There we go. Just make sure that they are nice and secure. You don't want to have incorrect clamping pressure, or it will not be very good at all. So, and ideally, guys, what I would say is if you've got the motherboard box, ensure that this is on your motherboard box. You're not going to do much damage to the back of it, in all honesty, but it's just good practice to make sure that you've got it on something. Right, so in terms of thermal paste, I like to put a decent amount, just about a pea-sized shape on there. Again, a little more is better than a little less. I'll just give you an indication of what that looks like, just like that. So we're not going to go wrong there. Nothing you can do in terms of putting too much paste on, in all honesty. And then all we're going to do, guys, is literally hook these little hooks here over these little clamps here, and then hopefully we'll not have too much fiddling around. Right, so first one. In fact, what we do need to do is just turn these round like so. Let's get the first one on. There we go. And then the second one. Right, there we go. So now we need to tighten these up. Oh, has that one come off? It has. We'll tighten this back one up first. Bloody nightmare. This is the problems that you run into, guys, with these little cheaper brackets. You don't want to make sure that you miss these off, because if you do, this will not tighten up. You just want to get it to a point where it doesn't pull off. Should be good there. Right, then we just need to make sure this one's on. There we go. Right, tighten up. Go to the other side, make sure that that one's tight. There we go. It's gone straight and flush. Cool. Right. So, in fact, we've done that the wrong way, but it's not going to make any difference. I'll change it around in a second. So essentially, guys, what we should have done is we should have put it around the other way and had this facing, obviously, the exhaust fan. We'll change it again in a second. But essentially, what we needed to do is just hook this little hook over this bracket here. The same for this on this side just here. Okay, so I'll quickly just take that off. We'll wipe it down and we'll change it round the other way. Oh dear. I think the plan is to just take one off and not two. It might be easier. This is this nervousness. There we go. Right. Come on. You didn't want to stay on and now you don't want to come off. There we go. Right. We'll twizzle it round and do it right. There we go. We've got the cable out. We've got plenty of paste on there, guys, so there's no issues there. Hey, quick question. I have all my parts installed except the fans. I don't know where I install, so confusion. I have 6 fans on the motherboard. I'm using 2 system fans. I need help. Embler, just give me 2 minutes. We'll have a quick discussion. Case 011 motherboard X570 Aorus Elite. All right, okay. So are you saying that you've got too many PWM fans for the splitters, or do you need splitters, or have you not got enough headers on your motherboard? Is that what you're saying? Or you just don't know where you're plugging them in? Right, that's that one on, thank God. Right, let's get this one on. Right. I think I did it the other way because it was much easier, the other one. I could actually see what I was doing. Right, I need something just to poke through there and hold that in place. There we go. There we go. Right, thank God for that. Exactly, I have 6 fans and the motherboard, I have only two system fans. It's your first build, man. Don't worry about it, buddy. So you've got 6 fans and you've only got 2 system headers or system fan headers. So a couple of things. What kind of fans are you currently using? Okay. And second of all, do you have any fan splitter cables? They're the 2 questions I would pose to you. I can't see that. Does it say Harvey PC? How you doing, man? Exactly, Riley. I was just going to say you can pick up 4 or 5 fan splitter or PWM splitter cables for about £4, Harvey's shouldn't have any problems picking them up, matey. Oh, sorry, Embler. You should be able to get them on next day delivery, dead quick. Good, thanks. How are you? Yeah, I'm good, matey. Absolutely fantastic. Little bit nervous today. We're doing a live PC build, but hey ho. Right, guys, what we want to do here, sorry, I'm putting my big fat head in the way, but essentially, guys, what we want to be doing is installing this CPU header onto this one, which is here. Now, the bottom one is our CPU optional header, and the top one is our CPU header. All we've got to do is just line that up and then push it straight on just like that, okay? Now, what I would advise is this cable, you can basically just twizzle it round, turn it round any way that you want and hide it down here. We'll concentrate on that later on. I'm not too fussed at all. But essentially, guys, we've got our CPU being cooled directly by our fan, which is just here, this Arctic 7. That's secured in place, and that's going to be then exhausting air through that, and hopefully it will come out of the rear of the case, okay? Right. 3 balls PWM fan hub, CPU cooling, 4-pin, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, good option. Riley, this is the one that I use. Thank you for that, matey. Much appreciated. And that's why I love doing these kind of things. In chat, you can all ask questions. You can help each other out. And that's the beauty about PC building. Nobody knows everything, guys. There may be a lot of people out there that think they know everything and they've built with everything and everything like that. But in all honesty, unless you're like Linus and you've got your fingers in every pie going and you've seen and touched everything, then I would say that the best way is to look at the forums, check with other people in different communities, because there's some good people out there. You're looking for a PC. Do you think the Asus ROG B550A gaming motherboard is good? I think B550, guys, offers an absolutely fantastic value for money. Offers very much a lot of what X570 does, just a few less PCIe lanes to the NVMe or N.2 slots. So yes, B550, really good, especially if you're getting a decent branded version such as Asus, MSI. I don't think you can go wrong, as long as you're not going to be putting too much or too many NVMe or M.2 slots on there. Right, I've got to stop doing this looking over there. I've got to stop looking at the camera. So, essentially, guys, we're now in a position where we can go ahead and we can install our motherboard into our case. So, let me just move a few of these things. We'll put this down here. Just be careful with that. I'll move this to one side. Do you think I can balance that on there? Let's have a go. Yeah, that's fine. No problem at all. Right. Don't knock it over, please. Riley, do I do giveaways? Yes. Mainly in the local area though, because of postage costs and stuff like that. But we are going to be doing a few biggie ones when we reach 2,000 subscribers, when we reach 5,000. So I think when we hit 2,000, we're going to be giving away a £500 computer. And when we hit 5,000, we're going to be giving away a £1,000 PC build. But there is going to be smaller giveaways. I did actually post on my community tab. Being a small channel, not a lot of interaction through that community tab at this moment in time. But I did ask if kind of giveaways was something that you guys would be interested in. I do have a number of smaller businesses that reach out to me, provide me with free parts and stuff like that. I don't keep hold of them. I give them away to either local charities or goodwill gestures to local people in the area. Right, so let's have a look at this. This S340, guys. So again, this is not brand spanking new, but it's fairly in good nick, guys. There's a little bit of a nick on the top here, but apart from that, it's just a little bit dirty. I've given it a wipe over, and to be frank with you, for what I paid for this, it's an absolute bargain. Again, no tempered glass panel, but you can see in through this perspex, and it's going to be well in keeping with the budget that we've got for this particular build. So we remove the two thumb screws at the back, and we should be able to slide off this panel. There we go. Right. Cool. So, in terms of inside, let's change the camera. There we go. Right. Let's get a good view of what we're doing. So essentially, guys, all we need to be doing is installing it in these pre-installed standoffs. We can see they've already got them installed in here. Now, I have removed one because the motherboard, this tough motherboard, doesn't actually require it. So all we're going to do is, by the cooler, we can lower the motherboard into the case nicely. In fact, we've made the general sin here, guys. We forgot. Dun, dun, dun. So go ahead, guys. If you've not got a pre-installed I/O shield, make sure that you put that in now. I'll take this back out just so we don't scratch anything or drop anything. And then all you got to do, guys, is line this up and push it into the back of your case. One. Come on, you little bugger. There we go. There we are. Cool. Right. So we'll go again. We'll lower our motherboard into the case, just being ultra careful. We've just got to then line up everything, i.e. the screws or the standoffs with the holes. Now, I do believe this motherboard, yeah, we've got an actual standoff which just holds everything in place for us. So we've got no problems there. So as you can see, guys, we're not far away from being done, to be quite frank with you. Because there's hardly any RGB, there's no actual problems here. Nick, that's a beautiful case. Yeah, this case, I can remember this case, what, 5-6 years ago? Yeah, about 6 years ago. I actually had this case in the exact same colours as a PC that I built in. I actually then swapped this one out for the Elite case, which was a little bit better to build in and a little bit more airflow. But yeah, I think it's quite a nice little case. You can see there's a little bit of dirt on it, guys, but nothing that a damp cloth can't sort. So, right, what we're going to do then, guys, is we are then going to secure these down using the screws, guys. Now, it's mega important that you use the right screws, because using the wrong ones, not only can you round off the standoffs, but you could potentially short out your board or cause damage to it, i.e. cracking it. So just make sure that you are using the right ones. So again, what we're going to do is just put these 8 screws in place. The standoff that we've removed is this one here, because obviously this cut out where the SATA ports are for this motherboard. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll install the first 8 or 9 screws. So these don't need to be mega tight either, guys, just thumb tight, because again, we don't want to cause any damage. So clean. Nice. Yeah, this will be ultra clean, guys, this build, because it is quite minimalistic, in all honesty. But that's what I wanted. I wanted something that was really minimalistic, really cheap, and offers great value for money. I can't believe no one's asked me so far how much this actually all cost. Bearing in mind the PSU, the RAM, the CPU, and the SSD were all brand spanking new, readily available. Nobody's bothered how much it costs. Do you watch any good TV shows? Oh God, TV shows I've watched. I'm a massive TV geek. I absolutely love TV, mate. Films, I absolutely love as well. Give that man a round of applause. Nick Ronaldo, 600. Good man. Absolutely bang on, mate. Absolutely bang on. So yes, you are bang on correct. It was 600, yeah. And that's exactly what I will be selling it for, because we don't aim to make any profit on these builds. They are bought solely for building on the channel for content for you guys, and then what we do is we sell them on for exactly what we've paid for them, hopefully allowing someone else in the community or not too distant, should we say, postcode from me, get something which was otherwise too expensive because of these dirty scalpers. Yay! But yes, going back to TV shows, so things like Breaking Bad, things like Prison Break, things like Game of Thrones. What else have we been watching recently? There's so many that I'm watching, it's unreal. But I'm more of an action kind of person rather than these, should we say, thrillers and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind that. It's just I need to be on the edge of my seat. I need something to be happening. With that being said, has anyone seen the latest James Bond film? Or Venom 2? Or should we say Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings? I watched those 3 films this week. Let me know what you think about them before I give my judgment, because yeah, I weren't a big fan, to be fair. Come on, there must be somebody that's seen some of them. So this is where we're at currently. We've got our CPU cooler installed, motherboard, RAM, and obviously our CPU under a cooler. Looking pretty nice, guys, but then again, it should do. Very, very straightforward. Let's take this back panel off. Let's have a look at the back, and we'll have a look at the I/O, or the front panel connectors. Oh, bit stiff. Do I play Apex Legends? Yes, Riley, I do. Playing it and any good at it are 2 different questions. Right, come on, back panel. What are you doing? There we go. I forgot how heavy that back panel actually was. So, back of this S340, guys, what have we got in here? So we've got our USB 3, our HD audio, and then we have a Molex connection here for our what would be fans. We have got our power button, power LED, positive and negative, and then our hard drive light as well. But in terms of obviously this, we're not going to need it, guys. It's purely for Molex powered fans or any Molex powered devices that you would have. We're in 2021. I don't envisage putting anything in here that requires Molex. All right. We're going to be installing this Crucial BX500, guys. If you're interested, they're actually on offer at this moment in time. 1000 gigabytes or 1 terabyte if you like. They're on offer for £65 on Amazon. Again, really good price for a 1000 gigabyte SSD. Much better than obviously the hard drives out there. Not as quick. I think this is about 500 to 600 megabits per second, whereas obviously your NVMe's are on Gen 3, like this board would be somewhere around 3200, something like that. So a hell of a lot slower than those, but 10 times faster than a hard drive. Hey Ray, how you doing, man? So guys, Ray, if you've not, like I said, if you've not seen the video build or the video that went live this evening, that's actually Ray's build that's in chat now. If you've not seen that, go and check that out because it is an absolute monster build. 5900X 3080 Ti, 7 terabytes of NVMe storage, guys, 980 Pros, and RGB'd up to your eyeballs with strimmer cables and those SL120 Unifans. Nick, I have a 2TB MX500 for game storage. Absolutely bang on, mate. I would say that the boot times on games, guys, if you can look at any test you want, there is probably 1 to 2 seconds difference in terms of 3.5-inch SSDs and the actual NVMe drives. Not much difference whatsoever. These do cost considerably less as well, even though the Gen 3 ones are becoming more popular because of no cables. Proudy, how you doing, man? No way, this is only 500 worth. These are new components or used ones. So it's $600, £500, my friend. So you've just, well, you've not seen me open, but yeah, we've got a brand new Crucial 1TB SSD. We had, a brand new 16 gig of Corsair LPX RAM. We had a brand new power supply, and we had, what else did we have? Oh, and an Arctic 7 cooler. The CPU, which is i5-9600, we picked up for £100. And the case we picked up for, I think it was £10. And then we've got a GTX 1060 6 gig, which we paid £160 for. So yeah, it was £500, bang on. So this is obviously why the title is £500. We've got more people in here now. Alex, how you doing, man? How you getting on with the chair? Looking at getting the exact same one. It is absolutely fantastic, Alex. Absolutely fantastic. I'm telling you now, from my chair that I had previous, which was, oh God, I can't remember what it was called now. It was about £250. A Rosie Verona V2. Good chair, had it for around 2-3 years, but no back support. And working from home and stuff like that, it was absolutely killing me. Not only my backside, but my back as well. 8 to 10 hours every single day sat in the same chair. You can really start to tell a difference of whether it's any good or not. I've had this now for, what, 3 months? And I sit in it for 8 to 10 hours every single day. No issues, no problems. Wipe it down every now and again. It's bang on, looks perfect. What's it say? Isn't a 1TB NVMe same expensive as a 1TB? I can't SATA. Last days I got one for the same price, and then there was a few decent prices on the market. I think SATA SSDs are slowly dying. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know whether you was here in chat previously, but I did say that obviously these SATA SSDs, whilst they are still around 10% cheaper than M.2s or NVMe drives, they're nowhere near as quick. But that depending on whether they are QNANs or whether they are obviously Gen 3, Gen 4s. But NVMe Gen 3s go up to around 3200, whereas these are about 550, 600. So the others are faster, and dependent on sales, you can pick them up for a very similar price. But again, we paid £65 for a 1TB SSD. I don't think there's anything wrong there. How do I combine an SSD and an NVMe SSD, and how to have the boot times of the NVMe? Oh, right, okay, what you're trying to do is put them in RAID, yeah? The honest answer, never tried to do it. Never tried to RAID an NVMe drive as well as an SSD. I don't know whether you can do it because obviously they're on different SATA ports. I know that you can obviously do it with the top Gen 3 and Gen 4 drives, but I'm not sure with regards to putting one with the other. You just save your Windows on the NVMe drive. Have I misread that? I can hardly see it. But yeah, top and bottom of it, if I had an NVMe and then I had a SATA SSD, you want to put your operating system on the NVMe. That's what I thought, Proudy. That's what I thought he meant, yeah. How does he put them in RAID so he gets, obviously, them both together? I don't think you can. But maybe I'm wrong. Right, so guys, what we're going to do is we are just going to push this I/O through to the front of this PC. We're going to attach our SATA data cable, and then we're going to put our SSD in. We'll put these two fans in. Last will be our 1060. So let's crack on. I'll push the USB and HD audios through now, and we'll get those connected. That's what I thought he meant, Proudy, to be fair, but you don't need to apologise, mate. You're only trying to help. That's all good. Right. Should we put our... I don't know where those SSD trays are there. We'll put it on the front anyway. It does not matter. So we'll have this one coming out there. We'll have this one coming through here. Oh, that might be a problem now. We'll change that cable because I don't like that 90-degree angle on that SSD. I mean, I have my games on the SSD and still have the NVMe drive to play the games on. Oh, HDD obsolete now. Nick, to be quite honest with you, I've got a, I think it's a 4 terabyte or a 6 terabyte Fire CUDA drive in there. There's not one thing on it. Absolutely not one thing on it. I think they're all right if you've got like photos and old school footage that you want to keep hold of, or a mass storage drive or something like that, or NAS or something. But for obviously transferring files and stuff like that, games, the boot up times are drastically improved by an SSD or an M.2. And to be quite frank with you, the only thing that's going for them is the cost. I think you can pick up a 2 terabyte one now for about 40 quid. So I can't remember the last time that I've advised anybody to utilize one. Yeah, exactly, Alex. I would say the same thing as you. Ideal for network drives, not for much or anything else though. Right, let's get this on its side. Making a big bang. Right, so guys, what we're going to do is we're going to install these cables on here. Obviously this one is our HD audio. Whenever we install in HD audio, you can see that there is 5 pins on the top, there's 4 pins on the bottom, i.e. because there's a blank which is just here. What we're wanting to do is install that up top or down the bottom of this left hand corner, which is just down here. Obviously the easiest way to remember that is that the pin with the writing, which is HD audio, if you face that upwards like that, you'll never go wrong. Just line it up and push it on, and there you go. You can push the excess back through the back of the case, keeping it nice and tidy. I've just got to be mindful of my big fat head with regards to you guys seeing. Likewise for USB 3s, guys, you can see here there's a notch on this USB cable. Obviously that will only go into the USB 3 one way, so just make sure that you take your time with this, guys, because I've seen so many people bend the pins on this USB 3 header, and then you're there with a tooth comb or you're something like a needle trying to bend them back, so just be careful here. And to be fair, these cables are not very flexible either, so really do take your time. I'm going to have to push some of this excess back through. We've got our notch to the bottom, and hopefully it just flies in. There we go. We can tidy the cables up afterwards, that's not a problem. Let's have a look in chat. And it's so sad that YouTube removed the dislike count. I think that was a great way of for viewers to get a first view of the video and decide for themselves if it's going to be useful or not. I think, Proudy, I don't know, mate. I don't get me wrong. If you're looking for something that, i.e. you're looking for a question to be answered and somebody to instantly show you the answer, and they go about the houses and don't actually do it, then I think that a dislike is really warranted. But I do think that there is some people out there that are in it for just sabotaging other people's videos, to be quite honest with you. I mean, for me, I'm not got a problem with it. I quite like having the views up there for everybody to see. For me, if the dislikes are greater than the likes or equal to it, it means that you've got to put more effort in, or whether it's production quality, whether it's content, or whether it's just you need to change because something's not obviously connecting with the audience. But yeah, I think it depends. If you're quite insecure and worry about what people think, then maybe it's not so good. Have you ever been to the United States? No, I haven't. I've been to Mexico, but never been to the US. What's that say? To be honest, I would be lazy to handle 18 terabytes. Does that say 18 terabytes of storage? Have I missed it? Proudy. I got 1 terabyte NVMe Gen 3 with like 2000 speeds and then one regular 240 gig SATA SSD and a 1 terabyte hard drive. However, although normal things on the hard drive I want to replace. You're right, okay, I get it. You're too lazy to transfer it. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. I mean, just for instance, talking about Gen 3 speeds, Gen 4 speeds, I record directly to what is it? A USB 3.2 Gen 2, so a Type C connector to a Gen 4 NVMe drive. And as soon as I pop that in, I'm limited to 10 gigabits per second. But I couldn't think of transferring, for instance, that data onto a hard drive. It'd just be a nightmare. I'd be here all day. Literally, it's a 500 gig drive that I fill very, very quick. 1, 2, 3 cameras, and transferring that onto an hard drive would be an absolute nightmare. I don't know how these people do it unless they've got insanely fast storage when they've got multiple camera setups. Right, so moving on, guys, to our front panel I/O. So we've got our hard drive LED light, we've got our power LED positive and negative, and then we've got our switch button. So let's turn these back over. There we go. So power LED positive, negative, power switch, and then we have our last one, which is our HDD LED as well. Easy way to figure out, guys, which is the positive and negative. On the back there is a little triangle which indicates the positive. Okay, now I would always say to anybody, unless you know where these actually plug on here, there is a little key which is down here which tells you where they actually go, or consult your motherboard manual. Okay, Matt P, how you doing, man? Nice to see you, buddy. I'm very, very good. I appreciate your comments on Ray's build today. You're obviously a long-term subscriber, so I appreciate it, Matt. Just upgraded my PC with a 4000D black, 1 terabyte NVMe, B450 MSI board, and a 10400. Nice, Proudy. That's a nice little gaming system, mate. Previously, I was running an i7 4700 and B150 and a cheap Shark Moon case. Nice. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. 10400, absolute little beast. 6 cores, 12 threads, and obviously a decent upgrade in terms of motherboard as well. Offers you obviously much more connectivity and more reliability, which is good. And long, well, it'll last you much longer. Right then, guys, me gobbing off and keep going on. So what we'll do is we'll put the power switch on first, guys. So likewise, all we've got to do is locate the positive, which in this respect is obviously on the left hand side. We need to look where this power switch is going to be, and the power switch is, it's going to be on the bottom. Where are we? Power switch, which is them two there. So we want power switch positive and negative, which is there. Then next to that we've got the power LED positive on the left hand side, So we'll get that one there. And then we've got the negative right next to the power switch. We'll put that one on there. I do apologise, guys. This is so small, you ain't going to see it. It does help if you've got small fingers as well. Right, we've got one left, which is our hard drive LED. And again, there's a little triangle just on the back here. Okay, so where does this one go? Power LED, power reset. I can't actually see it. I'm blind as a bat. Squinting. Let's get some light in here. There we go. Hard drive LED is bottom left hand side. So that one goes just down here. Should be able to squeeze that one on, even with my fat fingers. There we go. Right. So what we can do then, guys, is we can push these cables back through. Let's turn this back round. There we go. Right. So what we should be able to do now is just nicely pull these cables back through here. We may want to just tidy that USB 3 cable up. I don't know whether I've twisted it or not. Yeah, we have. Just bear with me 1 second. We don't want that to look like that. It'll look an eyesore. This is where you got to be careful. There we go. That's much better. I hate these USB 3 cables. Hate them. Decent CPU. Yeah, much better value than the old i7. So are you talking about the 9700K Proudy, the 8-core one? Or are we talking about the 8700K, the 6-core? I have the R5 5600X, absolutely fantastic CPU, Riley. Brilliant 6-core, 12-thread, beautiful gaming chip, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Loads and loads of builds I've done. Check those out on the channel, mate. And yeah, you should be pleased with it. It's absolutely fantastic. This PC being built for someone or just a bit of fun? No, I actually picked up all the parts, LX, and obviously, like I said, £500, $600, and then we'll put it up for sale, and it's just for content for the channel. Really nervous with regards to going live, but it's the same thing. Just obviously, I wanted to interact with you guys a little bit more. So, and obviously, I chose a bit of an easy one, to be quite honest with you. You could normally build this in about 20-25 minutes. Those front I/O connectors are the fiddliest part of any It's an absolute nightmare, especially when you've got big fat fingers like me. Yeah, G connectors coming out really handy, because then you can just shove them on. 5600X is delicious, but I feel like AMD got worse in value because of the increased demand. Do you know what, Proudy? I'm going to agree with you. There was an absolutely fantastic opportunity for AMD when, should we say, Intel came out, or didn't come out, when they stayed on 14 nanometers, to absolutely wipe the floor with Intel. And don't get me wrong, in terms of performance, over their 10600, 10800, 10950, we absolutely did. Especially the 11900 was, I don't know why anybody would want that over the 10850K or 10900, but they dropped the ball in terms of costs. They got greedy a little bit because they knew that they were really good. Feel like the AMD, feel like AMD had their spotlight. Yeah, and Alex, you're absolutely bang on, mate. Absolutely bang on. I just ordered a Fractal Design S20 and it's looking beautiful. Does that say S20 or S28? S28. I hope it is the S28, because yeah, it is an absolutely beautiful case. Right, let's crack on, or you guys will be here all night. So we've now got that installed nicely. They're good there. So let me just share that with you so you can see. So there we go, guys. Really nice, clean and tidy. We've got these cables down here. Really nice. Let's see if I can... Oh, no, don't do that. There we go. It's bang on focus now. So we've got these cables nice put away. We've got no issues there. You've got the RGB version, yeah? Right, so I think we're good there now. We're absolutely good. Let's get this power supply in. Right. Move that to one side. Let's pull up our power supply. So guys, seeing as obviously we're using 1060 and we're not going to plan on doing any massive overclocks or anything like that, a CV450 would be more than sufficient here. No problems. I've got no quarrels with regards to it. We have got a couple of others. We've got a CV550. We've got an EVGA 750. But in this particular build, we're not going to need anything more than a CV450. Nice one, Proudy. I have the fractal S36 Celsius. That's another one. I don't think I recorded that, Matt, that video. But yes, that is a nice one as well. The RGB fans are really nice and they create quite a lot of static pressure. The lumen looks even better. Oh, your lot with all these nice brand new PC parts. I'm out there scavenging second-hand parts, trying to build PCs. It's an hard world. Right, so what we're going to need, guys, we are going to need our PCIe cable for power for our graphics card. On our graphics card, we just need a 6-pin, which will be fine with that there. We need, obviously, our 24-pin, which is here. We need our CPU power cable, and then we will need a SATA power cable or power connector for our SSD. So I'm going to get this power supply in now, and then we'll install our SSD last, along with our fans. All right. Look behind you. I'm not doing it, Riley. I daren't do it. Right, let me just get this one in. So again, guys, if you have a vent or a filter on the bottom of your case, make sure that your fan is facing downwards. That way you're not going to suffocate it or anything like that. So all we're going to do is slide it in. No, we're not. Because we can't do that on this case, can we? Because of the cutouts. We need to undo these on the back and then take this little arm out and push it through the rear. God, it's been so long since I've built in one of these. Right. Push everything through. Do you know how long, Riley, that I waited for that 3090 there? Do you know how long I waited for that? I actually waited 11 or 10 months and I got a 3090 FE. And I then got contacted by a university graduate who said that he's building a mini ITX build and he's got a 3090 Strix, but he can't put the top on his case. Would I be interested in doing a swap? Because the FE is the only one that would fit in this particular case. And trust me, I flew 50 miles to go and meet him the very same night I received the message, and we did a bit of a deal. Really nice guy called Daniel. Didn't want to take the mickey out of me or anything like that. He knew that he had a better card and so did I. So we did a swap and I gave him some money on top. But yeah, I'm over the moon with regards to the Strix 3090. I waited best part of a year to get my hands on it, and I come across loads and loads and loads. I just did not want to wait, or should I say I did not want to pay the amount of money that most people wanted for them. Just like me for my 3060. Yeah, man. FFFF for a mini. Gauzy, how you doing, buddy? I got really lucky with my 3090 FE. Got it from Scan back in December. Like, you are one lucky bugger, Matt, because I was on overclockers, Scan, where else were we? On Amazon, on eBuyer, on AWD, a couple of other sites, all at the same time. Could not get one, and within 3 minutes everything was gone, fully sold out, fully everything. I then dropped really unlucky with the AMD 5950X, but I ended up paying ridiculous amounts of money being shipped from Australia with a CPU and motherboard combo. Yeah, Riley, the Strix is the card that everybody wants, mate. But yeah, it's just, I feel sorry for everybody at the minute, but I've stuck to my guns. I waited months and months and months and didn't do it, and then I caved in and went, do you know what, enough's enough. Nvidia cards are so clean looking, but can't argue with other brands RGB ones. Yeah, there's some really good, there's some really other good brands out there as well, Alex. Some ones, I mean, I'm not a fan of like the Zotac ones and stuff like that, but some of the Game Max ones and stuff like that look insane. I hate scalping so much. I have some friends supporting it, but I feel it's just unfair for the average amount of people that want one. It's just insane, buddy. Trying to get anything at MSRP at this moment in time is just a joke. It really is. I feel sorry for anybody that obviously wants one but hasn't got one. I got my 3060 at Micro Center. Riley, I watched Jay's 2 Cents latest video on Micro Center's new Texas or Dallas store opening. How insane is that? QR codes all over the floor, every card you could imagine that's in stock, and it's like a PC paradise. Oh, that one, Gauzy? Or do you want the 3080 or 3090 version? Yeah, Matt, anything which is basically processor driven, mate, with them chip shortages and stuff like that. Everyone thought it was because of the Suez Canal blockage and that bloody tanker that stuck there for about 6 weeks and stuff like that, but it wasn't. That was just obviously a load of speculation. It looks so cool, doesn't it, Riley? It looks insane over there. Those Micro Centers, they are very few and far between, but if you live anywhere within like an hour or two, it is absolutely amazing. Absolute paradise for anybody that wants to build a PC. Gauzy, a little bit overpriced. Everyone is, mate. Everyone. I mean, guys, GTX 1060, 6 gig. Yeah? Now, I quite like this model, the Asus 6 gig version. It's got a nice little shroud on it. I'm a little bit gutted that it's not got a back plate because it would look better. I'm probably either going to run something off the 3D printer to cover it or just order one, depending on how long it will take me to run up in CAD. But for the sake of obviously GTX 1060s, how much are the average going price for GTX 1060s at the minute? Gauzy, I like how they look and how they perform. Never had a problem with them. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Work fantastically well. No problems with MSI graphics cards. I think those, along with Asus cards, are the only two ones that I tend to lean towards. I've had a couple of Gigabyte ones, but again, not a massive fan of Gigabyte, to be quite honest with you. I like some of their Aura stuff, but I always think that you're left feeling like what could have been rather than what you've got. Yeah, Alex, these GPUs are all in these pre-builts, mate, but that's the next thing, or what everyone else been doing is they've been buying these £900 to £1,500 pre-builts, taking out the GPU, selling it for the same price as what they bought the pre-built for, and then selling the pre-built for 500-600 quid for the CPU with the case and everything else that goes along with it, and again scalping that way, making stupid amounts of money. I'd be like a kid at Christmas walking around one of those stores. I'd have to have 5 trolleys, guys. I swear to God, I wouldn't be able to have enough room in those trolleys. I wouldn't know. My missus would divorce me. I'm flying to Texas for my brother's wedding and might take a look at the new store. Zaldris, I was going to get a 3080 but ended up getting a 2080 Ti, still a beast, but I'd like a 3080. Mate, 2080 Ti Strixes are insane. They're on par with 3070s within 5%. Obviously the RTX cores, there's more on the 3000 series, but FPS versus FPS, it's within 5%, mate. I wouldn't obviously say go and get a 2080 Ti over a 3070 because of those extra cores that you get, CUDA cores and stuff like that. But if that's what you can get and you can get it for a decent price, absolutely, you can't go wrong, mate. I have the Aorus Elite 3060 Ti and the RGB sucks. It's not that bad. RGB is not the be all and end all. You don't get extra FPS for that, you know. Yeah, LTT done a video about buying pre-builts just to get the GPU. Exactly, and that's that. Why do that? Why absolutely do that? Everybody's just giving people ideas. Absolutely silly, but hey ho. So yeah, guys, GTX 1060 6 gig. These are going in my area for around 250 quid. Okay, so when this one came up, absolutely, a lady messaged me on Instagram and said to me, she's had it for about 3 or 4 years, always been a reliable runner, never had any issues. Her son no longer wants to play the PC that she actually had because she don't play it anymore. Would I be interested in it? It was just lying around since they got rid of everything else. I asked her how much she wanted for it. She originally said 200. I said 150. We settled on 160. So in my eyes, 160 for not a bad looking card, to be fair. Right, what do we need to do? Power supply. Let's get this in. So, we're not going to be able to show that. So let's turn it around this way a little bit. There we go. Right, so all we've done, guys, if we've pushed through the power supply, we've obviously lining it up with these screws here. We have got to obviously put this in here, but we've just pushed the cables through, and then all we're going to do is line this up and we're going to screw it back in place. That will give us the mounting hardware to be able to screw this in place securely. So go ahead and put those ones in. It's been so long since I've used one of these ones. Last one. Ninja 56, can you do a video on the best PC pre-builts to buy? Yeah, I can do. I don't know why I do this, but obviously, like I said, for me, it's all about people giving the information to them. But there's a guy called Dawid Does Tech, and he bought or has bought every pre-built out there and does a dedicated video on it. So go and check his channel out, guys, because he's not only is he really knowledgeable, but he's hella funny as well. NZXT got good ones. I remember, yeah, NZXT build Proudy, really good. They actually come with a 200-page document now that tells you how to build the actual computer that you've actually purchased, dependent on the parts that you've actually bought as well. I remember getting a 1080 Ti when it came out, being the flagship card. These new ones are mind-boggling. Yeah, but LX, you can go back 2 years ago, and that 1080 Ti, that Strix version, for instance, was still an insane card. The 1080 Ti over the 980 Ti was too much of a leap. It was, the performance gap was unbelievable. They made it too good. That's the truth. When the 2080 Ti came out, at an astonishing price and only a 30% uplift in performance, comparable to like a 90 or well, 70, 80% uplift over the 980 Ti, not many people saw value in it. And that's the reason why those 1080 Ti's were still good until basically now. Proudly, the problem with NZXT is the restricted airflow in their cases. You say that, Riley, but go and have a look at the H510 airflow. Absolutely insane case. Really good. One of the best airflow cases you can get. Most people overact with airflow. I agree. I try away, what was that? I try to sway away from buying a pre-built, to be honest. Build one yourself. I would also agree. I think there's no better justification of that thought once you've done it all. You turn it on, you just get a smile, instant smile. Not only that, if anything goes wrong, you've actually built it, so you kind of can technically look at it, just check it over. Just avoid anything Alienware. Yeah. Alienware, overpriced and problems galore. But the monitors are good. The monitors are good. What I'm trying to say is that as long as you don't got an office case, then you're good to go. Got an Alienware. I think it's nice, but yeah, I agree. Value is bad. Yeah, they prided themselves on design and quality, and yeah, obviously that pushes bang for buck through the floor. So right, what we're going to do now then, guys, is we are going to just have a look at some of these cables. So let me just tidy some of this up because I don't want this HD audio cable wrapped around these like that. There we go. Right, let's push this one back in here. Right, I need the 4 screws for our PSU. I'm too busy yabbering. The pre-builds from big brands like Corsair, Alienware, etc. are all overpriced. Better to get one from a small shop. Yeah, I also agree. I think they will also give you that customer satisfaction as well. You ring them up and you've got a problem, they're going to help you guys 9 out of 10 times. They need to. Word of mouth for those kind of businesses are absolutely critical. Right, where are we here? Right, we've gone and installed the backplate incorrectly, upside down. Too busy yabbering. I watched the Gamers Nexus video on the new Aorus systems, and he wasn't impressed. Yeah, Steve at Games Nexus is one of those more technical and knowledgeable guys. He knows most things when it comes down to, obviously, all the technical aspects of the products. He knows it, really. Right, are we good this time? Let's check. We are good. Good. New bearer. I think he's getting a bit of flack at Joe since he told everybody about all the problems with that NZXT case. He were getting quite a lot of crap off everybody for it, but that's a massive safety concern, those cases catching fire, especially with those PCIe cables. Come on, you little bugger, screw in. There we go. Just want to say, guys, massively appreciate everybody, and it makes it very, very enjoyable when everybody's chatting away, asking questions, interacting and stuff like that. I must say, even though it's quite nerve-wracking being live, a different sensation if you like, it's also really exciting at the same time. We've got a screw that don't want to screw in here. There we go. No, this is just a secondary desk, guys. I literally just pull it out. It normally sits at the side of here and I plonk everything on it. But yeah, it's just basically a storage desk. I try and keep it as tidy as possible most of the time, but it's hard because there's that many parts coming in and out, in and out. I had a couple of deliveries today from a company called Olifus, some floodlights, so there'll be a review coming on those. Another company sent me some RGB strip lights. I'll be doing a review on those. And then, just to show you, we are going to we've got this one here, another nice build on a Asus Maximus 5 with a 1070. What else have we got? Yeah, in fact, I'm not going to tell you anymore. it will spoil the surprise, but that's going to be a fully RGB build and quite a nice case. Full RGB. Instead of SATA SSD, it's NVMe 1TB drive, but all in all is a really nice RGB build. And again, guys, insane value. I got all of those parts. Again, SSD was brand new, RAM was brand new, but everything else was used, but in very, very good condition. But again, fantastic price. I actually went all weekend finding these GPUs so I could do some builds. So I'm quite excited to do that. And I might do that one as a live build as well, but maybe a little bit longer. Right, so now our power supply is nicely in place and secure. What we can do, guys, is we can go ahead and start pushing our PSU cables through the back. What I would advise is any cables that you don't need, get rid of those, so you can push those ones straight into the back out of the way. Obviously, in this S340, we're not going to be utilizing these particular hard drive bays here. So if you needed extra room, you could. If you had a larger power supply, like a 750 or an 850, obviously those will primarily be modular ones, so you can get rid of the cables anyway. But if you haven't got one of those, then you can utilize the extra space back there. Right, so let's make sure this is nice as possible. So we are going to need this one to go all the way up here. So that's going to have to go through here. We need to tidy those up because it's annoying the life out of me. We've got our 24 pin, which will need to go around here. Push it through. We've got our PCIe for our graphics card, which can go through the bottom here. There we go. And then we have our SATA power cable, which we can essentially just push through there and connect. Oh, it's come out. Connect that one as well. Right, so we can push all those ones in. We'll tidy everything up afterwards. That's not a problem. So let's just put this on its back. Right, let's switch cameras. Let's have a quick look at chat. It's a separate table. Yeah, all right. You're a natural, mate. Pleased that your channel's growing and doing well. Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate it, buddy. Zeld, remember us when you get famous. Honestly, guys, I don't think it would change me one little bit. Honestly, it don't really make any difference. For me, it's all about you guys. Without you viewing, commenting, sharing, liking, I'm a nobody. It's as simple as that. But I'm okay with that because I'm not doing it to get famous. I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it as a challenge for myself to share experience with you guys. If it helps anyone out, then it's a bonus for me. How long have I been building PCs for? Oh, God. 19 years? Yeah, 19, nearly 20 years. Yeah, so I can remember my first ever one was an Atari and then a Commodore 64. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, Windows 3.1. It's like, woohoo! And then 95 came out and yeah, different world. Encarta and blah, blah, blah. Get rid of those floppy disks and CDs were on the way in. Yeah, so I've been building a lot of computers over the years, guys. Again, still don't know it all. Tech moves at such a fast pace, and unless you take a huge valid interest in it and you read most articles, there is a difference in your opinion whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's useful, etc, etc. Do I think there'll be some good sales on Cyber Monday? Absolutely. If you're looking for graphics cards, you're wasting your time. There may be some CPU and motherboard bundles which are on there. Power supplies will be good discounts. RAM will be insanely good discounts. And M.2s and NVMEs will be absolutely huge discounts on those guys. CA1 BOS Encart. I've said Encarta. Yeah, Encarta. I think it was like Encarta 95 or Encarta 98, something like that. So that tells you, yeah, quite a long time. I wasn't even born when Windows 3.1 came out. I can remember in Windows 3.1, you used to have 7 floppy drives, disk drives, that you'd used to have to install. And then it'd say, please insert disk 2. Take that out, please insert disk 3. And it was an absolute ball ache. This dude is obviously a lot older than what he looks. Oh, thank you for that. I'll take that as a compliment. That's, yeah, it's a positive. But yes, I have a 16-year-old son, if that helps you out. Right, what we're going to do, let's change over to this camera here. Right, guys, so first things first, what we want to do is we want to install our 24 pin, okay? So dead straightforward, self-explanatory. You've got a pin on this side. All we're looking to do, guys, is, this is not helping me, massively not helping. So what we'll do is we'll just pull it out like that. We'll line it up and push down. And then what we can do, we don't want to put too much pressure on that, but we can bend it round like that. And then that will just keep it in place. The one pain in the ass, and the one bit I would always advise everybody to do, can you see this one down here? In this corner, this pin is an absolute ball ache. 9 out of 10 times I tend to put that on before we install any radiators or any fans like that, because my hands don't necessarily fit in down there. But what we can do is we can struggle like hell to get it in. So essentially this needs to go like that. So I might have to just struggle here, guys. Just bear with me. Because it's always the same. My big fat arms won't fit anywhere. I'm hoping I can just twizzle it and put it in. With a little bit of luck. Can I see anything? It does not want to go. It does not want to go. This is the beauty about doing it afterwards. Turn around and put it on. There we go. There we go. I haven't cut my fingers or anything like that, which is a bonus. So there we have got our EPS power cable for our CPU. What I've also done, guys, is I've fed this PCIe power cable for our graphics card through this cutout, which is just here. And what we'll do is we'll leave that dangling down there, okay? Now, I've just had a thought. We have actually got a USB 3 connector here as well, but we'll leave it down here. I'm not too fussed about that. So, turn this off. Let's have a quick look at chat. Also, I'm being rude. There we go. I remember my first build had a 30FX Voodoo 3 GPU. Those were the days, lol. Weren't they, Matt, where they had insane graphics on? It's like HD20s and HD10s. They had insane graphics on the graphics cards. You know, the design of them, the boxes was so nice. It actually looked like a piece of art. What monitors you running at the minute? So I have a PG20, 1, 2, 3. So I've got 1, 2, 3 PG279QR monitors, guys. So they are nothing like 4K monitors. They're 1440p, 165 hertz monitors, IPS, and obviously G-Sync and etc, etc. But I don't know why I've got 3 of them, because I have 2 of them at 60 and the middle one at 165. So I just use them for multitasking. I have got one which is up, well, you're not going to see it there because I'm pointing upwards and you can't see anything. But I have got one that's just on that shelf up there, and then I have got another one that's just here. But that one up there is the same as these 3 monitors up there, which is actually the PG278Q, which is a 144 hertz monitor, G-Sync, etc, etc, IPS, and that's for sale. That's 200 quid, which I think is a good deal. Right, what am I doing now? Fans. This is the pain in the arse bit. This is where I either rip it out. Get ready. Oh, there we go, it's off. These S340 fronts don't like coming off. So again, guys, really nice. Bit more plasticky than what you'd like, and that's where the Elite one was a little bit better. Where did you get those pictures from? I ordered them offline, my friends. I've got about 8 more in the cinema room through there. Really good deal. I think I paid about £10 for each one. But yeah, quite like them. 1440p 165 is a sweet spot. Unless you're on a big screen, 4K is a waste of performance. Absolutely agree. For me, I wanted a panel which I could max out my GPU, and obviously I would get as much FPS without leaving performance on the table. Looks fantastic, performs fantastic, and I'll probably keep these 3 monitors for the next couple of years, to be honest, guys, until, shall we say, 144Hz 4K comes down to a point where you can readily pick them up for around 400 or 500 quid, because I believe, what, they're still about 1,000, 1,200 quid at the minute, something like that. And I only buy Asus monitors as well. Used to have multiple monitors, but got a G9. Baby, nice. You've got the big boy. And again, very, very nice curvature on that monitor. Fantastic monitor. Very, very expensive, but it's a beautiful monitor. My case front makes me pucker, man. This is going to break every time I pull it off. That's I'm doing it because I didn't want it to whack my mic off. And to be fair, these bloody things here, right? I don't know why you've got to have so many. 1, 2, 3. You've got 6, 3 on each side, and you really need to rank them off. They don't like coming off, guys. So, hey ho. What projector are you running in the home theatre? Oh my God, it is an Optima. Oh, what is it? Optima HD60? Not a mega expensive one, but it is a 4K. I think it was about £2,500, something like that. So, but nowhere near one of the best ones. I actually built that in there, and then I decided that we're going to do in here, and since I started the YouTube channel, I've kind of left it in there. I've painted it all, and it all looks nice, but I had good plans of insulating it all, putting all the pictures up, putting LEDs everywhere and everything else, and we've not got round to it because too busy doing this. And yeah, I have the Tough Gaming Asus 1440 165, and it's awesome. Absolutely, Matt. I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes down to the monitors. A lot of people dislike Asus monitors because of, obviously, dead pixels, and you tend to pay a little bit more for them, comparable to like LG. I'm not going to knock LG because they've got some fantastic panels as well. But I just think an all-encompassing monitor, G-Sync, 1 millisecond, eye refresh, and obviously, for me, I think Asus. But again, LG do a fantastic job. Is it really important to be grounded when building a PC? Good question, Marks. I would say if you're standing on carpet, absolutely. If you're got no shoes on or rubber soles, absolutely. But can I tell you how hard it is to short out PC parts? It is very, very difficult to do it, okay? I was just speaking, so guys, I've just created a Facebook page. I know you're saying Facebook, that's like 2010, but I am quite old, yeah? But I have created a Facebook page called Rate My Setup, okay? I've posted on my community tab. I'm wanting to see pictures and short videos as everyone's setup, so I can do some YouTube videos, very much like Setup Wars from Edit Tech Setup, or Tech Wars, or whatever it is, Tech Source. And basically, a guy actually managed to short one of his graphics cards out by not actually being grounded. And I said, absolute bullcrap. You can't do it. It's so difficult. And it turns out that he'd installed his graphics card into his PCIe slot with his power supply turned on, and that's how he actually did it. But I've built, what, 77, 78, 79, plus 4 more. So 80, I would have built 83 computers this year, varying between 500 quid and £5,000, and not once ever had a problem with any part whatsoever. I've never grounded anything. I just touch a radiator every few minutes. Haven't fried anything yet. I mean, the easiest way to do it, guys, is, you know, your power supply. Literally plug your power supply in, turn it on, and just touch your power supply. There's an earth there. You're not going to hurt anything. Just remember to turn it off before you start installing anything. Yeah, you could react people's setups and PCs. Absolutely. I'm a massive fan of it, guys. And I'm not looking to snobby nose anyone or anything like that. I posted saying console setups, PC setups, budget builds, high-end builds, interested in all of them. We can do some recommendations. We can look to improve. We can look at, obviously, just good, all should we say, good comments. Yeah, I want to spread some goodwill and pass some positivity along. I think Linus Tech Tip did a video with that Egyptian electric shock engineer. He did. I actually watched it. And it was hard to do it. Yeah, look how many volts that he had passed through him, and look how long it took to obviously short anything out. Oh Jesus, why would anyone do that? Yeah, he did. Linus does anything, doesn't he? Can you just gift us graphics cards? Wow. I wish I was in a position, Proudy, to give people graphics cards. I wish. Because if I was, then I would do a weekly giveaway, but I am not. Absolutely, Matt. Bang! Like I said, on the community page, I put the email address, and I've also put a link to the Facebook page. I'll also add a Discord channel link as well, so everybody can send me their setups as well. Royston Henderson monitors. I use I can't see that, 95A Neo for my monitor with my Ryzen 9 5950X and 3080 Ti based PC. Sounds like an absolute monster. I don't have Facebook. Do you have Discord? Yes, I do, Mark. So go on to my community tab. Make sure you get subscribed. And there's a link. You can either email me it, or I'll update the Discord link in the community tab. And then you guys can click on that and submit them that way. But again, really interested in what your guys' setups look like. Corner setups, inside, outside, budget ones, high-end ones, you name it, I want to see them. Yeah, the setup wars guy annoys me. It always has to be perfect for him, even the slightest thing. And do you know what, Zal? That's what pisses me off, to be quite honest with you. It really gets on my nerves, because not everybody is bothered about one cable that's out of their eyesight, yeah? No, some people aren't even interested in the cables. Not bothering one bit. I mean, if you saw mine right now, you'd go, ugh. It's not even that bad, but it's getting on my nerves that there is a few cables around. But I have that many cables in and out and hardware in and out that it's not worth me keeping it absolutely pristine. I mean, when I do the setup tour at the end of December for 2021, then I'll make sure it's pristine. But yeah, I'm not too fussed about the cables and stuff like that. Most people are interested in the setup. How did they enjoy it, what it looks like, what the environment, the gaming room, the layout, the design, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of thought goes into it. Linus installed the GPU with power turned on. Yeah, there's a lot of shorts, Joe, YouTube shorts, where there's a guy that does stupid stuff with old hardware. And yeah, 9 out of 10 times, you won't do much to it, guys. It's so difficult to short anything out, Gauze. But that one time that you're unlucky is the one time that you need to look for a new GPU. It's the one in my profile pic. Nice. Alex, that's the nice case, Roy. Zal, ha ha ha. Yeah, I know the only good videos I think he does are the ones where he goes to people's houses and does a remake of their setup. Yeah, And I think he got a little bit salty a year or so ago, because didn't the guy sell the whole setup that he did? Which is bad, let's be frank. If you've gone to a guy's house and you've done a whole setup for him and then he goes and sells it by selling you a kind of lie, then you would be peed off, wouldn't you? But hey ho, it is what it is. Right, so I'm too busy yabbering. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to install these two fans here, okay? So these two are Cooler Master fans, just normal case fans, guys. When installing these, we want to ensure that we install them inside the case, okay? That way, even though this is a recessed front panel, we want to make use of this recess here as much as possible. We don't want to have the fans sat like this, because we ain't going to be pulling any air in whatsoever. And again, the next thing to be mindful of is we want it as an intake, so we want to be looking at the back of the cage of the actual fan. So installing it like this into there would be absolutely perfect. So all we've got to literally do is 4 screws. Make sure that our cable is on the left hand side. It's an intake. So we can feed that through there like that. And then all we've got to do is line this one up, shove a couple of screws in, and we should be well away. Yeah, he did sell it. Yeah, goes. Like I said, I wouldn't been too happy either, mate, to be honest. But look, he does always tell them it's in their setups, they can do what they want with it. And as much as you dislike that, at the end of the day, he gave it to him. So more fool him. I can't believe everyone's still here. It's nearly 11 o'clock. Let's get this build up and running, and let's see if we can hit a post so you guys can see it. We've only got these front fans, that SSD and that graphics card to put in. It's not good, Gauze. Can you remember when we used to be gaming? I never used to shut up. That's what these videos are like nowadays, mate. You're a sound man, Matt. Thank you, buddy. I will approve that once we've finished live streaming. Right, let's push this through here. Our next fan. And get this one installed. 4 more screws. Is everyone liking this? Is this something that we could do more often, guys? Once a month or something like that? Are you guys interested in me live streaming these more simpler builds so we can have a chat and a catch up and a get together? Is it something you would be interested in me doing more? Do you find any value in it? Look how dirty my hands are. Wow. Are you from Greater Manchester area? No, pal, I'm from Nottinghamshire. Robin Hood country. Thank you, Ray. So we've got our 2 fans out the side here, guys. That's all good. Right, so let's have a look at our SSD. This is our BX500, guys. Really nice, like I said, upgrade over a standard hard drive. And boot times, as well as obviously games, will be ideal on this as well. I wanted to get something like I wanted to get a 1 terabyte because I want to put the boot drive on here, and I also want to have sufficient room for people to put on their 2 or 3 games that they actually play without the need of having to buy another drive if required. I see a lot of computers that are being built nowadays and they've got like a 120 gig M.2 drive and then a 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda drive. And a lot of people think, oh, it's amazing, that's fantastic, because the boot drive has got obviously Windows on it, it runs really quick, but then the boot times, so the games they're atrocious, and they think it's good because it's large amounts of storage space, you see. But I wanted this because in an ideal world, I would have preferred a 240 gig M.2 to have the Windows on and then this, but price in mind, I wanted to keep it as best bang for buck as I could. So this is what I went with. I wish I could build a PC. I had to get a shop to do mine and probably paid a lot more money than if I built it myself. Absolutely, Roy. But each to their own, my friend. If you didn't want to do it, or you didn't have the confidence to do it, or you just thought it would be easier to let someone else do it, then no problem. Building my PC was an absolute nightmare. It was my first PC build ever. With 10 fans wiring is a joke. What kind of fans were they, Zell? Kevlar! How you doing, buddy? Hi, mate. Being quietly watching in the background, enjoying it. Defo interested in watching more. Fantastic news, buddy. Thank you, pal. LX, they can be a lot cheaper, to be fair, Roy, because they get the parts so much cheaper. You say that, LX, they don't. Honestly, they really don't. They don't get it cheaper at all. Most places now, you have two options. Number one, you can actually purchase the parts yourself and take it to them and just charge you a build fee. Or the second one is they can obviously get the parts for you, but you tend to be at MSRP. That's the same price as what most people can. And you'd think they'd have a far better reach than what you have, but to be quite frank with you, they don't. And you're going to have at least a 250 gig SSD storage in your system, no matter SATA or NVMe. Absolutely agree. If you're not running a SATA SSD or an NVMe drive with your Windows on it, God help you. Because I did a Windows 10 installation a couple of weeks ago, and God almighty, it took hours. And I mean hours. We're not even talking about full updates. We're just talking about the Windows installation, getting from downloading the drivers, installing the basics. It was a joke, absolute joke. Right, so let's do the SSD. So all we're doing here, guys, is we are just uninstalling this little drive on the front here. And what we're wanting to do is say that is, oh, you can see it there, that's fine. So that's your drive there, okay? We're wanting to put that on there, just like that. We want to line that up with these screws on the back, like that. And we want to ensure that our connections are at the back. So when we place it inside, we've not got the cables coming around the front, okay? Most of us PC building enthusiasts who don't make a living from it only get to do it once every few years, so we're lucky once. Yeah, I would agree with you, mate. And that's where it's like, if you do something often and regular, then it's like second nature. If you're doing it once every 2 or 3 years, like you are very correct, then things change, connections change, technology changes. So yeah, bang on. I have a friend who only got a pure hard drive storage. I prayed for him to I've just read that. Oh dear. Oh dear me. They were the Corsair Zeldris, they were the LL120s. LL120s, yeah. So you've got a RGB and a PWM off of everyone, yeah. Like the QLs or the MLs, they're all the same. But are you running it into a Commander Pro or a Lighting no core? I tend to find the Corsair ones are quite easy. If you've got a Commander Pro or you've got a Lighting no core, then I think they're quite easy. I mean, in that one, we've got 3, 6, 9, 10 in that one. And that was okay, because I've got 2 Commander Pros in it. But I did one where I moved a case from, what's it called? A Cooler Master MX500, I think the case was, to an XL Leon Lee. And oh my God, he had Cooler Master fans. Oh my God, that was a joke. That's a fun video. Go and watch that. It's quite a short video, but the amount of cables on the back of that was insane. It was just insane. I looked at it and I went, am I going to be able to do this? Because I've got that many cables, I don't know what to do with them. Have you thought any more about the Capellix upgrade? Ray, you did me. You absolutely did me. So guys, everyone in chat, Ray's talking about the H150i Capellix. Essentially, they have bought out, do you know, like the Z73, the GIF screen or animated screen? Well, the Capellix have bought out this AIO screen that you can basically upgrade. You can do GIFs on and stuff like that. But it's like, how much is it, Ray? It's about another 70 quid, something like that. But Ray kind of talked me into it, and I said that I was going to get it. So yeah, I am going to get it. Lighting node core. I should get a commander, though, a lot easier. Yes, absolutely. So you're probably using splitter cables, Zell, off your PWM headers on your motherboard. And then obviously you run the lighting node cord to a USB 2 on your motherboard, and then that will control 6 of those fans. It is much better because with a Commander Pro you can put all your RGB and all of your PWM headers into the same Commander Pro. Changing your system is important so your eyes don't get bored. Yeah, tell me about it. Elite LCD sitting in front of me now. Really? No, I'm jealous. I am jealous. Well, gel. Right, so guys, installing this SSD. 4 little screws, line your bracket up at the back, dead straightforward, just screw them in to the SSD. Won't be building the PC, it's going in till after Christmas though. Wow, you've got all the parts and you're not going to build it till after Christmas? You are a brave man. I can't do it. I put a build up today, guys. Ray's build up for, well, obviously posted it today, and I was itching because I had all these parts delivered today. I was itching to do a live stream or a video tonight. I can't help myself. What's that say? I'm jealous of your amount of graphics cards. I'm sitting here with boring 1063 gig, which does not beat my favourite game, Resident Evil Village. But what you think? Oh, these are not. I don't have. These are. That 3070 there, my friend, is an empty box. Okay, that 3090 is in my computer down there. I have got a couple of 2080 Ti's down here, but apart from that, I've got a 1060 here and a 1070 there. But I don't have the 3070. It's just an empty box. And to be quite frank with you, a lot of these other YouTubers that obviously doing all these reviews get sent them. I don't. I literally have to buy everything. Waiting for a 6900X 3D V-Cache is going to be insane, my friend. Honestly, the next AMD CPUs are going to be insane. Let Intel have their little win for the time being, because their 12900K is really, really good. Really, really impressive with their P cores and V cores. It outperforms in some things, obviously the 5950X, but yeah, AMD will come back. And this is coming from Intel fanboy. Always been Intel up until 3rd gen, or should we say Ryzen 3000 and 5000 Ryzen. That's where I changed, so that's coming from me. Proudly, a friend ordered some Thermal Grizzly thermal paste, and I wondered, is there a huge difference to the average thermal paste, or obviously that? So talking about thermal paste, guys, I think the best bang for buck is Arctic MX4. There is other brands out there, obviously Thermal Grizzly. You've got another one there, which is like a Cooler Master. So this here is a couple of pounds, £3, something like that, for the same amount as this Arctic one. But I would prefer the Arctic one 99 out of 100. The only time that I ever use this is when I've run out of this. And that's the honest truth. So I think that you would probably get, guys, in all honesty, between the best CPU paste and the worst, probably 3 degrees difference. It doesn't really make a lot of difference, in all honesty, unless you've delidded your CPU and you've got some liquid metal on it. It's not going to make a huge amount of difference. But I always go with a brand that I trust and I've used for a long time. So it's totally down to you guys. Right. Right, let me get this done, because if not, we'll be yabbering. So I'm just pushing through, guys, the SATA power cable. And what I want to do is connect it now before I actually attach this, so I can get to the connections. What else did we have? SATA data cable. That's what we needed. Oh. Balancing act. Stay. Let's change this SATA data cable. We must have 10 others in here. Where are they? There we go. That one will do. So the reason why I've changed that, guys, is you can see here, okay, one is a 90-degree angle and these two are absolutely flat. That one's not going to be any good because of the angle of this case. So essentially all we're going to do, guys, is I want it coming on. Let's change this round here. Change it up, change it up. So all I'm doing here, guys, is literally plugging this into our connection, which is here, like so, and then we're just going to feed it through the back, and we're going to push it up through this hole down here, the same as the SATA power cable, and then connect it onto our SSD. SATA data, SATA power. So what I try to explain, more or less popular YouTubers should also have the opportunity to get hardware such as Viral Peeps. Mate, if I had the access to the amount of hardware that Bitwit, J's 2 cents, bloody Hardware Connects and all the big boys, honestly, I'd have videos coming out every other bloody day. Damn, 5950X already beat. I only bought it 2 months ago. Yeah, but to be fair, Roy, it's an even keel, mate. And you've got to remember that AMD bought that out, what, 13, 14, 15 months ago? So it's took Intel 2 years to come back and beat 7 nanometer that AMD's had out for near enough a year and a half, yeah? And AMD, when they release their 6900 or 6950X, it will come back and leap. That's what we've got now. We've got this good leapfrogging situation. And the good thing with AMD is their X570 platform, or their B550, has been basically backwards compatible for the last 3 generations. With Intel, every bloody change in CPU requires a new motherboard. And new bloody CPU is a nightmare. Pro tip, if you do have the thermal paste at home, just use your spit. What, to clean it off? True, Roy. Oh, you can get the best PC possible and a month later it's already beat. Absolutely. And normally that's the case. Every 6 months, tech moves that fast. Someone told me we'll upgrade to the R9 5900X and 32GB. He told me it's not overkill. He invests in for the future. I told him for streamers when he bought it, and he told me to shut up. Oh dear. I really hope that AMD is going to bring out their new CPU soon. I don't believe that they're coming out until Q3 2022. It'll be the first time an AMD chip has needed a new socket for a while, I suppose. Absolutely, Matt. You think now Ryzen going all the way back to first gen Ryzen. It's insane. For the last 4 years. That's amazing. Absolutely insane. You can get some B450 motherboards that you can do BIOS updates on, and you can run Ryzen 5000 chips. Tell me an Intel platform that you can do that on. You just can't. And I was one of them idiots that went Z170s, Z270s, Z370s, Z390s, Z490, and then I went, enough is enough. I've got them all here. Literally every board on this shelf up here. X570, Z490, Z590, and they go on all the way back. Some people in Discord were blaming me that I upgraded to B450 board instead of B560 because I'm limited with RAM. I told them it's not a huge deal, and they kicked me. Oh God! I think someone's looking here. Kicked you? B560. Oh dear. They kicked him. Right, let's feed this through here. There we go. Right, so let me see if you can see that. You should be able to see that. Right, all we're going to do then, guys, is pluck on our SATA data cable, which is there, hook on our SATA power cable, which is up here. Turn that around. There we go. Like so. There we go. We'll pull this one back through. Like that. And then we can just hook this back on just here. I'll turn this back round and I'll put it the other way round. There we go. Turn this on. There we go. Right. So again, guys, you can clearly see we've hooked up our SATA data and our SATA power cable. What we're wanting to do now, guys, is just hook this back into place on here. Shall we put it? Yeah, we can do. It's not a problem. That thumb screw. What's going on in chat? Was there a video you did once which I could not stop laughing at? I think someone had sent you a PC to upgrade, but the side was hold on. Zal, I did one where the guy sent me a PC. He says, yeah, can you just upgrade my Windows onto an M.2 for me? I said, yeah, no problem. It came, there was a toothpick holding the GPU in. There was no screws in the side panel. There was, there was no screws in either side panels. There was a toothpick holding the GPU in. The front panels were held in by actual screws. The front fans were held in by bolts, M1 bolts and stuff like that. It was an absolute nightmare. And trust me, a nightmare. Right, so what I need to do is just get this installed back in here. I'll put the screws in. Stop. Right, let's change this. There we go. Right, I've got a cable. I've got a cable underneath it. That's what's the matter. Oh. Always something. Oh, I know those kind of guys are smoking all day wondering why their PC does not work. If you open up the side just for a minute, you can see just dust and tobacco. Oh, God. It was absolutely minging. And I mean minging. Unbelievable, guys. Sometimes I have to take the computer before I even open it up. I open the side panels and I take it outside and I've got a hoover that you can put it on blow and you can just blow the shit out of everything because it was insanely dirty. No, there is the stock frequencies of the Strix is higher than what's on the TUF, but in terms of obviously the quality of the card, not really. And the TUF versions had some fantastic reviews as well, absolutely fantastic reviews. I have a mate that smokes all of the time when he is on PC and it don't look pretty. Yeah, ugh, God almighty, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine what that actually looks like or smells like. Must be horrendous. What's going on here? Why is this not fitting on? There we go. Bloody nightmare. I swear to God, I literally could not stop laughing because as soon as you opened it, you were in shock and just... yeah, I was in shock because sometimes, guys, they come in and the smell is really bad. Really, really bad. And what you don't want to do is be disrespectful because this person's given you their PC. You're not charging them They've given it you just to help them out. And when I give it back to them, I'm like, you must blow this out. You must clean this. You must look after it because the smell is just unreal. If you smoke, you can 100% tell, okay? Dead easy. All you got to do is run your fingers on the inside of the fans and you can tell straight away. Absolutely straight away. So, right, we've got our front fans, which are now installed. We've got our SSD, which is nicely installed in here as well, which is good. So, last thing is our graphics card, guys. So, dead straightforward. All we've got to do is make sure that our PCIe is open on our PCIe lane. And then we need to remove two of these, which is number 2 and number 3, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 2 and 3. It's always 2 and 3. What am I doing? Figured out that the Asus dual GPUs are the worst. Yeah, they're bound to be a little bit worse because obviously the low clock speeds and the fans don't tend to be as good. They're normally the lowest quality ones. Fans are full of thick, brown gunk. Disgusting. A lot of people don't understand if they've got pets as well, guys. Pets, cat hairs, dog hairs. It's just one of them things that you just must clean them out. Right, so all we've got to do, guys, is line up our graphics card. What am I doing here? There we go. It won't go in. I can't find the hole. Right, come on. There we go. Right, line it up, guys, and then we should hear a click. There we go. We can put on our power cable, and there's no pretty way of doing this one, to be quite frank with you. I always tend to do the end connectors. So we'll use this one here. We'll just shove this one on. In fact, if I put it on that way, it's going to look dodgy and crappy. If I put it on the other way, it's going to look even worse. Hey ho, there's nothing I can do. Right, there we go. That's on there. We can shove the rest into here. What we need to do now is put in our 2 thumb screws back in to hold our GPU in place. You know, so we don't get none of that sag ray. Matt P, I wanted a strict 3090 when the 30 series launched, but I gave up and just went for a Founders Edition. And you know what, Matt? Those Founders Editions are absolutely fantastic. The cooling on them are really, really good. The performance are fantastic and they look beautiful. The only downside is they weigh an absolute ton. But you know what? They made really well. I really love my 4000D in black, but I hate the fact that I got to clean it the front every 3 days. Well, I don't know whether you've got to clean it every 3 days unless you've got really, but if you've got it on carpet or you've got a lot of animals, then I would agree you don't want to be obviously doing that unless you're running positive air pressure. Do you have any tips for getting rid of dust, or what's the best way of getting rid of it? Simply, mate, just keep hold of a can of air, and literally I do mine, what, every 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and I tend to find that they get quite dirty. What I don't like doing is the fans, in between the fans, I have a little paintbrush and I go around there with the paintbrush, then I just blow it out with the canned air. I was building a PC for a friend, and when started it, everything was like lightning, and when the fans were spinning, the CPU fan light was lighting. I can't see that. I can't read it properly. I'm too far away. When we sent the entire system to the providers of the components itself, they told us it was the CPU cable, not the CPU. Wow. Trixie, yo, welcome to the stream. Proudy, air changer. I can't see that. Air cleaner should help. Yeah, air cleaner should help. Just dust the bloody thing out. What always frustrates me is you've gone out and spent 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 pounds on a setup, for the sake of £3 for canned air, you can keep it nice and clean. Failing that, guys, just get a bloody duster. Stay off of the PCBs and just wipe round it. Clean it up. You're not going to go wrong. So, I think, oh, we're there. We're done. Simple. I've got nothing left on the table. Nothing at all. So, in actual fact, guys, let's just move this to a little bit to one side. 1 second. So I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So, in actual fact, guys, this is what we've finished up with. So, this NZXT S340 on this Asus TUF Z390 motherboard with an i5 9600, so it's 6-core, 12-threaded CPU. We've got our boot drive and the rest of our game drive on this BX500 from Crucial. And we're topping it off with this Asus 1060 6GB. And overall, I think it's turned out quite nice. What does everyone think? Use a dust vac. That's it, Mr. Good Times. I literally have a Hoover, guys, that you can put on blow or suck, yeah? And obviously, I put it on blow, obviously. But I blow everything out, and then before I bring it in here, that still only gets the light air or the dust off of the top surface. It doesn't get the grime or anything off. You do need a decent cloth to get that off. Time to turn on, Pog. Let's go. Sweet job. So yeah, I think overall, guys, it looks quite nice. Again, I'm not a massive fan of this PCIe cable, but there's not a great deal I can do there. But other than that, we should have no problems. Let's plug in some power. Let's pull down this monitor here. I'll grab an HDMI cable and we'll see if we hit the boot stage, yeah? Just give me 1 minute. Trusty cheap monitor, always does the job. I broke one of these already. I had to replace it. Right, we just want an HDMI cable. Please, cable. There we go. Right, HDMI. Woo! Pressure's on. Right, let's have a quick look. The funniest is when you turn the piece on and nothing happens. Don't say that to me, Zeld. Jesus. Nice little build that. Blah, 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 blah. PC looks good. It misses some RGB though. Proudy, I wanted this to be ultra clean, totally non-RGB, because when you start adding RGB, you introduce complexity and cost, yeah? And most kids nowadays that want to play Fortnite, Roblox, and everything else that goes at 1080p, do you really think they're bothered about RGB? In some aspects, yeah, but they would rather have a computer that got a few more FPS that the mum bought them rather than something that looks amazing but plays like crap. Mr. Hydrated, random question. Your option on the MSI 980 GPU in 2021? Depends on how much you're going to pay for it, Mr. Hydrated. If you're going to pay a decent price, then absolutely, it's still a good option at 1080p. But if it's at standard scalper prices, or somebody that's just wanting to make a little bit of money because it's sat in a box for the last 3 years, then give it a miss. But it depends. In a 980 Ti, is still, I would say you could still get as good as what you're going to get with this, just a little bit less. What else have we got going on? Yeah, Proudy, this is a 75 Hz 1080p, 75 hertz, just a cheap monitor. The amount of monitors, guys, that I have broken by taking off the top of that shelf, I've broke now 3. Yeah, 3 of the bloody things. So this is £100, well, £90 off of Amazon, and I don't give a monkeys. If it falls off, it falls off. I don't really care about it. But anyway, I got told the more RGB you have, the more FPS you have. Somebody lied to you. Somebody definitely lied to you. Right, let's turn some power on. Do we have lights? Ooh, we've got lights on the motherboard. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Now, normally what I would be looking for is the RGB on the RAM, but we don't have it here. So let's just turn this on. Let's see if it bloody turns on. There we go. Let's press this power button. You know, one thing I didn't do? I didn't attach those front 2 fans, did I? Or this back fan here. So I've not attached any fans whatsoever. But let's wait for it. There we go. Because I'm too busy yabbering, we've not actually attached, look. Or I don't know whether you can see that. I'm pointing these cables around the other side of the thing, but yeah, I've not attached the PWM fans to the motherboard, but I'll do that very shortly. But as you can see here, guys, this is the screen that you want to see every time that you build a PC. You also want to see that your CPU cooler is obviously being detected and actually working as well. So there you go, guys. Everything is all up and working except for these fans, which I'll attach to the motherboard now. You could use a PWM head splitter if you wanted for the front 2 fans, and then for the top and the back ones we could attach to the motherboard depending on how many PWM headers you have on your motherboard, but splitters would always come in handy. Okay, so let's have a quick look in chat. It's a better monitor than what I have, long thumbs up. Look, it is what it is, guys. People can afford different things, and 75 hertz at 1080p, I don't even think that's bad. That would pair really nice with this 1060. Way too much RGB going on in PC parts, in my opinion. No need for the PSU to be having a... Yeah, exactly. 9 out of 10 times, look, they've got shrouds, guys. In fact, one of my friends contacted me today. He's doing a really good upgrade to his computer, and he says, saw this really good Thor PSU, but it's 150 quid. It's got RGB, and I'm like, okay, but you've got a Corsair 4000X case that's got a full shroud. You're never going to see it. Oh, yeah. He says, well, the non-RGB one, Gareth, I can save like 40 quid. I'm like, well, buy the non-RGB one then, because you're never going to see it. Does it matter if it's black or white? I said, don't matter whether it's bloody pink. You're not going to see it. So, yeah, RGB is good when it's all synced up and it's it's visible and showing. But when it's behind closed doors, it's no good to anybody. Fans rip. I'll turn it off. I'll attach the bloody fans. There's only one fan that's running, and it's the one that needs to. It's all good. CPU fan spinning, GPU fan spinning, motherboard, exactly. All is good. So as you can see here, guys, we've clearly can see that we've got 16 gigs worth of RAM. We've got our Intel i5-9600 here, and it's detected that there is a new CPU, which is obviously installed. So the next steps from here, guys, is to hit F1. It will go into the BIOS. You can then set your fan curves and things like that in the BIOS. You can do XMP, because XMP won't be running at the minute. So these will be running at either 2066 or 2166, depending on what the default settings are. And these are obviously 3000 megahertz. So not the fastest by any means, but a damn sight faster than 2166 or 2666. So we want to enable that once we have got in Windows installed. We don't do that before we install Windows. Wait, there's a green LED light coming from something. Yes, that's being emitted from the motherboard, that tough motherboard. That's a little blue sticker, crucial sticker, so it looks like RGB, but it's not. So guys, I'm hoping that you've enjoyed it. I thoroughly have, okay? Obviously, I'm mindful that this is a more budget build, but I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed, obviously, having a chat with you guys. I've really enjoyed answering your questions, and I've really enjoyed, obviously, the live stream with everybody. I just wanted to take a minute just to say I really appreciate everyone's time. I know it's late at night. It's a great community that we've got. It's getting bigger. It's getting better. Like, share, subscribe if you've not done so already. If you want to send your setups or short videos or pics or anything like that, visit the community tab. Email me. I will add the Discord links as well. And we'll be sure to obviously do some more of these in the future. I appreciate everyone's time. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Au revoir, guys. See you later. Felix Rasmussen. Not sure if you saw my comment earlier, but do you know of any AIOs that are efficient and can hold an i7-11700K? Any, if you're looking at IOs, any 240, 280 or 360 cooler, mate, will be sufficient to cool that. They're much more efficient than the 9 Series 9900K, so they're still hot, but they're not as hot as the ninth gen 9900K, so you should be absolutely fine, mate. Enjoying the stream, Roy, thank you, my friend. Zeldris, keep it up, have a good one. I appreciate it, my friend. Kevlar, great stream. Keep an eye out for the next one. I appreciate it, my buddy. Proudy, bye, pal. Roy, thank you for the thumbs up, my friends. Matt, pleasure as always. Thank you for the continued support. Ray, pleasure having you here, my friend. And I hope you're all good with your new system. I hope it's doing you well. And Zell, good night, matey. Good night to everyone. Take care.